I am an illustrator in 12-step recovery, and I've been making a series of drawings of words found in the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, which was first written in the 1930s, and the actual text of it has not been changed in all the years since. It's been used, the same steps outlined in that program have been used successfully on many other compulsions and addictions besides alcohol. Now, in the big book, one of the things that makes it a somewhat what makes it easier to read are the images and verbal pictures that Bill Wilson uh, used to illustrate his point. Now, I'll just read this one. It's called the FlimsyReed. It's on page 28 in the big book. We, in our turn, sought the same escape with all the desperation of drowning men. What seemed at first a flimsy reed had proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. Now again, you'll need to read for yourself if you're interested. Find a big book and turn to page 28 and see what came before and after this. But it's pretty clearly discovering a drowning person who grasped for a flimsy reed at the very last minute. And I can tell you this drawing surprised me. I didn't know I had this kind of drawing in me, but it pretty literally describes what the metaphor Flimsy Reed was describing. This reed is, first of all, it doesn't look like a cattail. If you made that mistake, you're not the only person. I thought a flimsy reed was like one of those cattails with the brown, almost looks like a hot dog skewered on an upright stick. That's a cattail. That's not a flimsy reed. A flimsy reed is actually all the pictures I could find of it that were flexible reeds were basically grass. They were just long blades of grass in water, And so, to be true to what he described, he could have said a cattail. He didn't. He said a flimsy reed. That's what I drew. But my experience in recovery is reflected by the fact that I think you or I looking at this drawing would say, if this person is about to be swept over this waterfall, and the waterfall is as tall and deadly as it appears to be, this person is, well, they're a goner. They're about to die. I don't care what this thing's made out of. This is not going to save them from going over the falls. And I'd say that's true. And other people have called me on this and said, you really messed up this drawing. That little flimsy reed is not going to be enough to save him. But I would go back and say, I think that was the whole point of why he chose this metaphor. What seemed at first a flimsy reed, meaning something totally insufficient, has instead proved to be the loving and powerful hand of God. So our perception is we are out of hope. We got nothing left. This is our last chance and we just used it up. But if you've been in the 12-step program and you have worked the steps and you've experienced the miracle of recovery, you'd probably have to say, yeah, I was a goner. There was no hope left for me. And I cannot explain it, but a power higher than human power pulled me back from the brink of certain destruction. So you'll just have to take it from me if you have not experienced that. And if you have experienced that, I think you might agree with me. Things looked about this hopeless before you hit what we call rock bottom. There's always more at the website, 12drawings.com. Thanks for listening.